Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome you and all of you down under and above. This, everyone, is Friday night, and you are tuned in to Friday night's The Three Bells podcast as we talk about tonight's Smackdown episode, as well as news clips, as well as birthdays, and everything in between. It's me, y'all. It's me, your homie Shane O'Mac, coming to you live from the Three Bells table, the East New York section part of it. Sitting next to me, because I'm never alone, always accompanied by the coolest of the coolest. We call him Triple J. Triple J, what's going on?
Triple J is now in Yo City. What's going on, Shane? What's going on, Des? Oh man, it's great to be on tonight. I missed you guys for the past few days. I'm doing this. I'm ready, and let's get it.
And sitting next to me is Mr. Mundo, aka Mr. AKA himself. Hey man, what's going on? How are you?
Yeah. Can you hear me now, ladies and gentlemen,
You
boys and girls?
are perfect. You're perfect.
All right, thank you very much. Like I was saying, I was channeling my inner Stephen A. Smith like I do every Friday, and I'm happy to be here with you guys on this Friday night.
It is good to have you on this Friday night. We have a lot to talk about, so let's do it. Let's get it. Where is it? Where is that thing we do? Let's do it. You know, in my opinion, tonight was very weird. It was just weird. That's the only way that I can put it. Was it good or bad? I would say yes. It was weird, both good and bad. This intro or this opening segment that we had for SmackDown, it was big. It was so big, in fact, that even I'm going to do something weird tonight, and we're going to discuss that towards the end. So we're going to talk about our opening towards the end because there's so much that we could talk about. There's so many questions and answers. So I want to close out by having that as our closeout discussion. All right. But we have a lot of other things that we need to talk about. Of course, being that today is the first SmackDown after Elimination Chamber weekend, which was an awesome weekend. They did, of course, a full recap, just like they did with Raw, just to catch us up on what's going on currently. And why don't we move all the way down to backstage? We're going to go straight to backstage, everyone, where we have Theory and his bestest friend, Grayson, or his bestest friend, Theory. Then you had LA Knight. He came out, and it looks like he was on a mission or looking for somebody. And then Randy comes out. And, they're talking, going back and forth. I'm sure you guys would give us more on detail. But basically, what I got from it was, once again, Grayson throwing Theory under the bus. And even Theory said, it's like, dude, they're again throwing me under the bus. And throwing her under the bus, meaning we have a match later on tonight with Randy versus Theory. Des, I'm gonna start with you, and then Jay to follow. Did you catch the same thing that I caught? Were there other things that happened during that segment that I missed that you want to mention? Des, you start, and then Jay to follow.
Yeah, I caught everything that you saw. It's hilarious again. Grayson doing what he does best, and he puts Theory into a match. I don't know how many times we've seen that already with them, but I don't know how much longer Theory's gonna deal with it. But they were actually watching like a replay of Randy getting knocked out by Logan Paul in the Elimination Chamber match, and they were just sitting there laughing and cracking up. And then that's when he got interrupted by LA Knight, who's looking for AJ Styles because he he cost him his chance to go to WrestleMania and face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. So they're like, oh no, we don't know. And then he goes off, and then they get back to rewinding the clip again and laughing and cracking up, like boom, knocks him out. And then Randy Orton shows up in the background, and then he hears what they're saying. So he turns around, and he's like, ha, 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 yeah, this is funny. Ha, 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 rewind it again. And then he's like, you know what? I got something even more funny. Which one of you two I'm going to get in the ring with later on tonight and rip your head off? And ha, ha, ha. And they were just sitting there shook. And then Grayson was like, hey, by the way, yeah, Theory, he wanted to face you. And Theory, again, with that same stare that he gave him on Monday. I was cracking up. Oh, man. I think that's going to lead to something down the line for sure. Like Jay said. So, Jay, what say you, my guy?
Oh man, like what I really got from this is what I've been seeing for a minute between Theory and Waller. That more or less they're gonna wind up fighting each other one on one, and you can see like both of them, one playing the babyface, one playing the heel, and then one giving the other one the okey doke. And it's to me, I find it hilarious because, what is wrestling without someone that's gonna, play that role play the role of, how can I say it, of just being that not intimidator, but man, I don't know how to put it, but he's always playing a certain role where it's wild, and he turns the cards on you, more or less. So I really like what I'm seeing from the two, and Randy's just being a clown right now because he's on a mission, and he knows the mission to get to where he got to be is through one of them two. So I found it cool. But yeah, that's what I think. You could go ahead, Shane.
All right, before we continue, want to give a shout out to Lawan. We see Lawan in the house. We say 3 bells to you and welcome, man, and happy Friday. Hope everything is well with you and the fam. Hope everything is okay. Like to hear from you if you'd like to chime in, as always. You are always welcome, as well as everybody else that joins in. Des, I like how you mentioned about the video they were watching, because that video came out of nowhere. Like we had no idea that was going on during the Elimination Chamber match. It was after Logan Paul was eliminated. He was laying on the side towards the edge of an open gate. See, now looking in, when we watching it live, we didn't see that. But there was a camera that was on the side that caught everything that was going on. And he was basically talking about his back, his back. He was telling the referee his back was hurting. The referee was trying to help him to get out. And the whole time he's like, my back, my back. And you could see in the background Drew and Randy going at it, remembering what inspired between them two. And then it was perfect timing when he rolled over, went in the ring, sucker punch Randy, and then rolls back out. Jay, I want to start with you and Des to follow. Did you guys manage to see that video? And if you did, what were your thoughts on it?
When I got to see that video, I said, yo, if Logan ain't play that shit real slick, he really did. And, you know, that's typical heel work, bro. Like, they really, expect Logan Paul not to shine because he's an outsider, not really a wrestler and everything. But you can actually see with him that he's working as a true heel, and he's gonna do anything and what it takes to make sure that the other guy doesn't win. So, good job by him. And wow, I didn't catch it that night of, but with them showing it tonight, I was just like, oh shit, nah, Logan's a different story. I'll give it to him. Des?
Yeah, much like you guys, I didn't see it the night of or anytime during this week. I seen it when they played it tonight on Smackdown, and I was just like, wow. First off, what a camera view, whoever had that camera, and the bantering back and forth between the referee and Logan Paul was hilarious. Logan's like, "Yeah, I got you." The referee's like, "No, you didn't. I already knew. Like, what's wrong with you?" I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, and just to see that, you know, I like seeing different angles of different things, and just to see that was pretty cool. So kudos to the production team once again. You guys are winning.
I got to give a shout out to Logan Paul because not for nothing, he was very entertaining throughout the entire EC match. When he was inside his pod and he was drawing on the pod, and when he was getting his ass handled by KO, I mean, just his whole night was just entertaining. I mean, you can hate the guy as much as you want, but one thing's for damn sure, he has given you good reason. He has to be that good in order for you to hate him that much, and not even hate as in you can't stand him, you wish he was like gone or whatever like that. You like what he brings to the table. He's doing exactly what he is supposed to do. And that's why he's the US champ. That's why he's been in the past 9 and now 10 pay-per-views. And that's why he's going to continue to entertain because that's what we pay for. What are we going to see from him next? I don't know, but I do totally see Randy Orton getting revenge. That is for sure. Before we continue, let's play some messages from our homie, Lawan.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Got my voice back. What's good, fellas? Friday Night Smackdown was different. Very different.
Says Lawan. We got another message from Lawan.
I like Logan Paul, man. Very entertaining person, man. Great entertainer in the ring. You can tell that he really cares about the business. The way he interacts with the fans. Some of the moves and some of the risks he has done to his body shows that he really cares about the business. So I enjoy Logan Paul, man. Logan Paul's great. He's better than some of the main roster that's on SmackDown.
Des and Jay, do you agree with Laurent? Oh my goodness, can't believe I can't talk. Okay, cut, make up, take two. Thank you, Laurent, for that. I agree with you. Des and Jay, do you also agree with what Laurent just said? Woo.
I do actually. I do. As far as Logan Paul, between him and Bad Bunny, I mean, they are really really good at what they do, and you got to respect it. And the fact that they respect the craft, and they work hard on it, and they don't make fun of it being fake or whatever, because they see that it's not that easy to do. So I respect it. I respect both of them. Logan Paul, especially since he's the one that we're talking about. Um, and Luan, what up, man? Happy that you're feeling better. Happy you got your voice back. So be prepared for Monday Night Raw, man. Be prepared. Jay?
Yeah, I actually do agree with Lawan because, bro, you don't see, like, look, I'll put him ahead of guys like, he's already ahead of Walla. He's already ahead of Theory. He's ahead of Dom. He's ahead of JD McDonough. He's ahead of a lot of these guys on the roster that's been there honing their crafts for the past 10, 20 years. He's just a guy who's been doing this shit a couple of years. And look at the path that he's taken. You know, when I first ever heard of him, I heard of him only through like this boxing shit that he was doing with Mayweather or whatever. I didn't know he was famous through other shit, but I respect everything that the kid is bringing, the charm, the charisma, the work that he does to make himself actually get better in the ring. You know, I give him, the Michelin 5 star. He's one of one when it comes to a celebrity actually cutting it out in the ring. You know, this is wild to say, but he might be the best ever celebrity besides, like, I'm gonna say like this, besides the Miz. And the Miz was started off as a celebrity before he became a wrestler. So, kudos to him.
And just let's just also mention that Logan was an amateur wrestler back in the day as well. So he's always loved wrestling, like he says a lot. So just shout outs to him.
I'm so glad you guys mentioned that because I was going to ask, who do you see winning a match between Logan Paul and Bad Bunny? Jay, I'm going to start with you and then Des to follow. Lawan, you can answer that question as well. In a match between Logan Paul and Bad Bunny.
Honestly, since we've seen more of Logan and we know what he does in the ring, I'm gonna go with him all the way. Just because we only know Bad Bunny for just a little fly here and there, the little bunny hop shit, and the fact that he does um the same move Selena Vega does, Rey Mysterio, John Cena. They're all little, even what's her girl? What's her face? Roxanne Perez does it. The pop rocks. So if we had seen more of Bad Bunny and his ring skills, then yeah, I would say him. But right now, Logan Paul has everything that we want in a wrestler, so I will go him first.
Well, for me, this is my WrestleMania US Championship match that I called. So let's see if it happens. But I'll put my money on Bad Bunny. He held his own against Damian Priest. I get it, Logan Paul. He had a world heavyweight as well, a WWE Championship match against Roman Reigns. But I'm gonna just roll with Bad Bunny. I feel like he has more to his repertoire, but it's just that he's an artist, so he can't be here as often because he's on tour and stuff of that nature. So my money would be with Bad Bunny.
Yep, it looks like Lawan may have an answer. He does. Let's hear it.
Logan Paul, man. You see him on TV a lot more. You see him doing a lot more. So, of course, Logan Paul.
Okay, Lawan says Logan Paul. You know, for me, it depends on where the match is being held. Like if you guys are using Mania as the point, that's our focal point, Mania 40 in Philly with Logan versus Bunny. Man, I mean, because who has the bigger fans? Who has more fans? Who will put more behinds on seats? Who have a louder pop if they won? And if we're going for the US title, because basically we are, if we're talking about Mania, who would be a better champion moving forward? Because Bad Bunny, if you do win the champion, don't you have to defend it somehow? Or if you're about to go on tour, wink, wink, that would be another reason for him to win, because then he will be WWE's United States champion touring around the world, showing off that belt. Remember, he had the belt before, and where did he go? He went live on Saturday Night Live. Oh, perfect timing. Awesome for promoting. So I guess it depends on his schedule. But if he's not doing anything, just chilling, I would definitely say Logan Paul. But shout out to both of them because they will both give us one hell of a match. And speaking of hell of a match, if you want to call it that, let's talk about our first match that opened tonight. Interesting enough, we didn't see the entrance of these two because we was in a commercial break. But it was Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton versus new theme song that we don't like still, Naomi. They came in, they did their thing, and this time, Tiffany did the perfect from the top rope moonsault. And then Tifa wins. Des, I'm going to start with you and Jay to follow, and anyone can join in, leave a message. What are your thoughts on the first match for tonight?
Shane, you're a funny man. But it's not really much to talk about. I mean, I think I blinked my eyes and the match was over. But I literally only have two things for my notes. So yeah, shout outs to Tiffany for going back to NXT or to training camp or whatever and finish cleaning up that moonsault, because Lord have mercy, compared to the last time she did it, tonight looked beautiful, 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 beautiful execution. Perfect landing. I loved it. So shout out to her. I hope this is not a reoccurring theme for Naomi, losing, coming back, and I guess as the veteran, she's trying to put Tiffany over, but I don't know. But yeah, congratulations, Tiffany, for the win. Sorry, guys, your entrances didn't get TV time. Just don't have enough time on SmackDown. Jay?
Hey, my girl wins again, Miss Tiffy Tom. She did a thing. From what I noticed in the fight was she had the crowd. The crowd was, into it. They was cheering her on. And, every time she did her thing, the momentum grew. And that one little thing that I didn't really like too much was the fact that the ref got in Naomi's way to block her, and then you see Tiffy with the poke to the eye, the old school classic shit. And that's how she won. You know, Also, like you were saying, there's like, yo, like what are they really doing with Naomi? Like, bro, she's putting over this chick, or is this part of AKA the punishment for leaving the company? And then, you got to take some type of a status now, like you got to lose, lose, lose in order for the company to say, okay, fine, the apology accepted, welcome back, and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, congratulations to Tiffy Time again, proving that she was the right call up.
I mean, so Jay, let me ask you this then. If you're going to punish her like that in the company, then why even have her back inside? Like, isn't the point of having her is because of the fact that they knew that she was good, that she was good enough when she was here. She was good enough for the other company. She wants to come back here. Apparently, she was missed enough for them to scout, go over to where she was, scouted out the place, including her performance, and then signed her back. So you're telling me that they signed her back just to have her like lose all of these matches as a way of like a punishment? I mean, if she was like doing a bunch of like jobbers, or if she was losing against somebody like Zelina, I would say yes. But you're talking about fighting Tifa, which, by the way, according to Twitter, she was the MVP of Elimination Chamber. So yeah, Jay. So I mean, is it fair to say that that's what they're doing? That they're punishing her?
That's what sometimes, like, the way I see things. Maybe it's true that they're doing it that way, but at the same time, what I feel is maybe Naomi needs a certain storyline to go by. So maybe it's just the fact that she's losing, and this is gonna be her way of maybe one day turning heel and saying, "Y'all didn't accept me when I left. Y'all didn't accept me when I came back. So f y'all, screw y'all." Maybe it could be an angle like that for her. You never know. But right now, the way it looks like it is punishment.
Okay, okay. Let's see what Luan has to say.
I don't think they're punishing her. As far as I'm concerned, this is the first match she's lost since coming back. I mean, of course, they're going to put over Tiffany because her NXT run, and she's a new face. So, of course, they're going to put her over. But as far as I'm concerned, I think this is Naomi's first loss being signed back to SmackDown.
Hmm. But yeah, Jay, you gotta stick to what you're feeling. Yes, Jay.
I am. Yes, 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 yes. I will.
Well, congratulations to Tifa. She's continuing to proving that she is a WWE superstar. So after that, there was a video package of Bay and Dakota and Damage Control. The editors, they're showing off their skills. Kudos to the editors. As they showed this teaser video package, they introduced us to the second match of the night, which is the Kabuki Warriors versus Bay and Dakota Kai. Mhm. Somebody at this table said that this was going to happen. I personally did not think that it was going to happen tonight, but it did. Des, going to start with you and then Jay to follow. Let's pick your brains on your thoughts on match number 2 tonight.
Funny enough, I was actually crossing my arms while you were even talking about this because I'm still pissed off about it. Um, I knew it was gonna happen. I never trusted Dakota. Jay, we both said it from jump. We don't trust her. It's sad that Bailey did. I actually was really like mad, and I was like, oh come on. Especially when Bailey looked up and then slammed her fist into the mat. I felt so bad for her. There was no match, to be honest. It wasn't even a match. If y'all think about it, I don't remember the referee even ringing the bell to stop the match. So the match is still going technically. But yeah, it was supposed to be Dakota's first match back, and I don't even know how many months, or was it a year? But wow, I'm still, ugh, I'm heartbroken for Bailey, and she doesn't have anybody now. It's 4 against 1, and maybe there's a slither of hope of what I said for her, moving forward for WrestleMania. Like she'll get some backup somehow, some way from the 4 Horsewomen or somebody, but it's not looking too good for my baby. I love you. I feel for you, Jay.
Oh my God. Man, we go, Des like, yo, bro, the way we seen Dakota when she was in the back last week, and at the same thing when Shane also said it, Shane was like, yo, we did not, nobody seen who even touched her or hit her. All we saw was the general manager with her walking into the announce, to the trainers table. So at the same time, me and Des are like, yo, come on. Back then she betrayed EO in NXT. So now she's, repaying a past thing and with EO and helping her out. So we already knew the fake was on, but also like Shane said at the same time, this was kind of fast. We didn't expect it to happen tonight. Kind of expected it to maybe drag on to Mania, but damn, 4-on-1. Jesus Christmas, Bailey, girl. If there's a way out of this, you know how to get out of it, and if you have to think in a diabolical way to eliminate everybody, go ahead, do it. Doesn't matter. Baby, show us what you got. Fuck Dakota, because the only Dakota she's gonna, I acknowledge is North and South Dakota, and her last name being Kai, Cobra Kai is way better than her. So, screw Dakota too, because we also see that she's not conditioned yet. She's not ready. All she did was just take a little headbutt down, boom, and that was it. She was done, and I'm done. Next.
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to mention that that was very disrespectful by whoever did it, but they had the nerve to play the damage control music after they already stomped down and beat up Bebe at the end, and they're all standing above her. I was like, really? Damage control music? That is messed up. Shane.
Well, Des, you know how they always play the music of the final person that's standing, whether it's the winner or the sore loser. They do that all the time.
I know
That's
that.
nothing.
I know, but I mean, they didn't play damage control music when it came out. They played the Kabuki Warriors music. So play their goddamn song. Why got to play the damage control? That's just adding insult to injury.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that was because of the fact that it was Dakota also. So all 4 of them together formed Damage Control. Well, I mean, because even they were calling the three girls Damage Control versus Bebe and Dakota. So that's how I kind of see it. But I do understand it. I can see the shade, but then again, why would they shade?
Right. Shane, I have one more thing to add to this. I forgot, but it just came back to me. I
Mhm.
see Bailey having to run the gauntlet before she gets to WrestleMania. So she's gonna have to face every single one of them before she gets to Io Sky. And yeah, this is gonna be ugly before it gets better.
And the first one she's going to fight is gonna be, and I hope it is, that goddamn Dakota. Because if you notice tonight, when Bay was reaching for Dakota and she jumped away, and then it was like it hit her like, oh shit, are you serious? And then Kabuki Warriors was getting on her, and then when she was able to get free, she ran right out of that ring and whooped her ass on the side. That was very satisfying to see. I mean, Bailey was going in on Dakota. Unfortunately, the Kabuki came out and they did their thing. But I totally see her being the first because I mean, I mean, you have four girls. All of them betrayed you. But who betrayed it more? I would say Dakota. I don't know. I mean, maybe like they don't like if you look at it from a whole picture from the beginning to the end, maybe it's a different answer. But considering what Dakota was saying and what she did and the amount of trust that she had built with Bebe, the fact that Bay was like she was very vulnerable. You had these girls that she formed, and now they like they just turned their backs on her, made fun of her, said all types of
Trust
things about
thy
her.
peach today.
Oh, there you go. Oh, now you got your soundbite. So wait, so was that for me because I was babbling? Is that why you played
No,
that in that
no,
moment?
no, and you weren't babbling. It was actually perfect timing
Mm-hmm.
because that's Bailey's. That's how she curse die Dakota Kai.
Hmm. You sure that's not shade over me because I was talking?
No, you were actually making perfect sense. Because I don't know about you, that moment when she dropped off the damn side of the ring, I was upset.
What say you, Jay, in terms of who do you feel betrayed Bay more? I want Jay to answer first, and then Des, I want you to follow, and Lawan. You know what? I'm gonna do something. I don't know I'm here because I see that Lawan is here and he's leaving like all of these messages. Des, is there a way that we can just, invite him over to the table as a guest for tonight? This is not going to be an every week thing, but because I see that you're here and you're answering a lot of questions, why don't you just join the table? So Des, maybe you can look into that, see if it's possible. And Jay, maybe you can while we do that, Jay, answer the question. If you can answer the question as to who you feel betrayed Bebe more.
Well, I would say that's Dakota. Because Dakota was there with her from the beginning, and so was Io. But you always kind of seen Dakota more under the wing in the beginning. When the group came back, she was more under Bailey, learning from her more. And Io was more of, a do-it-yourself type of female. Like she didn't really need damage control's help until it was time to actually do it. So you know, all in all, like I said, you know, Dakota. But at the same time, I was saying one time in the beginning when Oscar came back, Oscar played the crazy role in making this whole thing really get damaged to the point where you know this chick got exiled from the group and they kept the name. I would have really thought they would have switched their names up, but no, just to add more fuel to the fire. They said, "Fuck it, we keeping the name." Ha ha. That's all I gotta say, Shane.
Well, I think we're all in agreement then. Dakota Kai. I mean, again, that feeling that I had tonight, even though I already knew it was going to come, but I didn't know it was going to happen tonight. But that feeling I got when she jumped off that ring to the floor, and then the look that she was giving Bailey. I don't know about you guys, but the crowd was just like really loud. The crowd was booing and like everybody was in shock. And then that face Bailey made of just disappointment and just like, damn it. Like that hurt more than I think the whole situation with Io because of the fact that she pinpointed that Io changed when when the Kabuki Warriors joined. But with Dakota, she gave her the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, I think it goes, the winner is Dakota Kai.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. And like I said, I just felt so bad. I really felt bad. Like if I could jump into the screen, and I know I'm a man, but I would have kicked the shit out of them three motherfuckers. You hear me? Get off of her. Get the hell over her. Back up. Back the hell up. You understand what I'm saying? Then I would have grabbed her, I would have helped her backstage, and I'd be like, okay, let's come up with a plan. Let's get a crew together. Let's get a new crew that you can trust, and let's get this thing going. Let's get this running. And Jay, I think the reason why they did it now, because even I thought, for a second that this was weird timing. But then again, we're only 30 some what days, till Mania. That gives us enough time to build this story because once again, we got to hear from Dakota, as to what's on her mind. Why did she do what she did? And then, of course, the Kabuki Warriors, they're going to chime in also as to how they convinced Dakota to betray Bay. That's going to be interesting to hear. What it took for you, Dakota, to betray your friend, if you even called her that. We have a message. I would like to play it now.
I'm glad it happened now, because now we know that if she wins the title, it will really, really mean something now. But Bailey got no help. I don't want nobody that's outside of it that's been fighting damage control. That includes no Bianca or anybody else. That doesn't have no business with this. Like I said, it has to be somebody from the Four Horsemen to come help her. Nobody knew somebody from the Four Horsemen to come help her. But I'm glad it happened now instead of media, because I still feel like Baby is going to win the title. But good luck to her.
Well, out of the Four Horsemen, who is actually available or will be available towards Mania? We already know that Charlotte she's still healing, and then we know where Sasha is, unless that was all a hoax. But there's too much going on for that to not happen, for her to not appear in that pay-per-view, which has been, heavily promoted and selling tickets. So who's the other girl that was on there? Des, do you know? I remember before you mentioned the Four Horsemen. Becky, the one that already has her hands full in terms of fighting Rhea and Nia Jax. So she already has her hands full. So she has to find somebody because she can't do this alone against those four women. They're going to sneak up on her whenever possible to make her as weak as possible in time for Mania so that Miss Io Sky can continue to be champion.
Shane.
This is a very interesting story. Yes, Des.
But did you find it interesting who Damage Control ran into after they did what they did to Bebe?
Let's talk about that right now, because I'm glad you mentioned that. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about stuff like this now. Des, what was your thought? Okay, let me explain. There's something else happened before that, but I want to talk about this. So we're going to skip this one thing, and we're going to talk about this right here. This is backstage when Damage Control, they was walking in the back. And they walk right into Jade. Miss Jade, she's standing there. She doesn't say a word. And then she just comes and grabs her, and then they leave. So Des, I'm going to start with you, and then Jade to follow. Was that a message?
I think so. I mean, she was just looking at them, and she was just pointing at them before she, the cameraman actually messed up at the end of this. He didn't show enough of her, but you seen the edge of her finger just pointing at them, like in disgust, because she just seen what happened. And Nick said that he'll deal with them later because obviously he saw what happened, and he's not happy about the four women, taking her down. But then again, now saying what I just said, Shane, Jay, Lawan, I just said the four women taking Bailey down. It's four of them. Guys, you can't tell me this is not a coincidence. Somehow, some way, it might be. She might be filling in for Sasha, but I'm still holding out some type of hope for all four of the four horsewomen, the four horsewomen, coming in and doing what they do and making things even for Bailey. I just can't see all the support Bailey has given Sasha, and for her not to come back and help her. Like, I don't care what the other company is doing with their big business, whatever, on whenever in Boston. F that. But this would make more sense. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know these days. Jay?
Uh, what I would say is, like what I really got from all of that was the fact that maybe she is one that's gonna be there to help Bailey, to diffuse the situation, and Jade is green. She's all about her money. And when I think of something like that, I think of the return of maybe Mella and possibly helping Bailey out in the situation. I don't know why, but just seeing that most of the Mania is in a green state, as far as with the Eagles and their stadium being green, I could see Mella is money as well being there to help Bailey down the line at Mania because we haven't seen her since she's had the baby. So that still will leave probably one more person to help out. So that still leaves a question mark within itself. That's just my thoughts on it, Shane.
Interesting. But for me, if you're going to add Jade, which was why they had that little scene, because it was odd that they did that. I hope they didn't do that just so that this was a definition of her getting airtime. Because why would they specifically put her there like that to stare down at these four girls? Why did you stare down at them like that? Why were you looking at them like that? What were you doing there? See, these are the questions that I'm asking in order for it to make sense moving forward in terms of her joining Bailey. I'll even say this. If Bailey were to just walk up to her for some reason and they have a conversation, and then the conversation leads to her needing help to go against this new damage control, if you can make it make sense that Jay joins Bailey to go against damage control, then I'm all for it. I am totally all for it. But don't just freaking throw her over there next to Baby, and now it's a Baby and Jade versus damage control. Am I making sense here? Because, like I said, the story has to make sense so that at the end, whether there's a win or lose, it's satisfying and it makes sense in terms of either closing that story or just closing that chapter and continuing the story. Yes, Des?
Yeah, you make sense. I mean, come on, I'm your partner in crime when it comes to us wanting things that make sense. Don't just do stuff to do it. Make it make sense. So definitely. Um, I'm trying to think if there was any other interactions between Jade and Damage Control, but I don't see it. So yeah, like you said, let's make it make sense. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the only other interaction that I remember is just the Royal Rumble between Jade and Bailey. So actually, it's kind of weird because if you think about it, wasn't Bailey the one that eliminated Jade? Hmm. I'm trying to. Or was it Liv? Yeah, I don't know.
Was it? Yeah, it seems so long ago. It seems so long ago. But Jay, back to what you were saying, and then I'm going to play this message. You mentioned Mello. How how would Mello help? Because Mello is she's only but so high in terms of the overall rating. She's not the strongest, but she's smart. And I guess anyone teaming up with Bebe would be better than Bebe by herself. But would Mello really be a help to Bebe? And why would Mello help Bebe, Jay?
You mean you mean Mella, not Mello. You know.
Excuse me, Carmella, not Carmelo, Carmella. And
Nah,
congratulations, shout out to you on the baby, Carmella.
nah, that's like to me that's the only reason why I would see her, helping is in a way that, she's a former champion, a former Miss Money in the Bank, you know, something that all those women have in common that's in there for the exception of Kyrie Sane. All of those women are Money in the Bank winners. So I look at it as, you know, any time to bring her out, if this is the best time, maybe yeah, it'll be her. Maybe an Alexa Bliss. Someone that we haven't seen in a minute shows face and helps her last minute. We got to toss some names out there. Just anybody in general like that. Because we don't, like you said, Becky, we're not going to see her because she's main eventing at Mania. So I'm thinking of females that I ain't seen in a minute. So those are the two that will come into mind. Like right now will be Carmella and Alexa, and Jade, and them helping take out the rest of Damage Control, and WrestleMania will be money.
All right, so I'll tell you what then. So all the women that you just mentioned, including Jade, if you convince me that you felt some type of way, the same way we felt when we saw that beatdown with those 4 girls versus her, and you say, baby, if you need help, I got you. I'm in. Okay, that makes sense. I would buy that. If that is your reason from joining her, I would say go right ahead. I got you on that. That I would totally agree with that. Let's play just 2 messages from Lawan quick fast. He says,
I don't think they add Jay. I think Jay was just there to still figure out which brand she wants to go. She's just scoping out and looking at every female competition. I still think that she's going to go on Raw because Raw has a better female competition over there and a better female roster, in my opinion, than the SmackDown roster. But I think she was just and scoping to see and looking at who's the champion. You know, just being there just to be there and keep everybody on their heads and shoulders, keep everybody on their heels. Like, listen, I'm here, so don't get distracted. I still haven't picked a brand yet. I don't think Jay picks whatever she goes to till after Mania. I think we find out after Mania what brand she chooses.
shit, mess around. We probably wouldn't even be thinking about you after Mania. Whatever you do, girl, you better heavy up and do it. Or like we say, that Pepsi Fizz is going to be gone, and all you're going to have is color water sugar, which nobody don't want. Yuck. Let's continue with
Can I
the
just
menu.
can I just say something?
Sure.
So we only have like 5 SmackDowns left before WrestleMania, right? Um, so we're all agreeing that something that's gonna happen is gonna happen at WrestleMania, or do we think that these friends of Bailey are gonna start appearing throughout the next 5 episodes of SmackDown? So is this something that we think is gonna happen? It might be a beat down that she's getting, when a referee's out or something like that at WrestleMania, or are we gonna see these people start to appear in the next 5 episodes of SmackDown before we get to WrestleMania?
Well, I hope you get to see this moving forward before Mania because it builds the story and it gives us more of a reason. And then it's like, okay, she has this person to help. She has this person to help. Okay, cool. We gotta fight here. We gotta fight. As opposed to like just dragging this whole thing with her being by herself all the way to Mania, and then at Mania, you're giving us all of this surprise guest that's going to team up with her. I mean, not for nothing. If you announce before Mania, like maybe 2 weeks beforehand, who's officially teamed up with her, wouldn't that sell more tickets? Wouldn't that make the story more interesting and more captivating? I mean, and then again, Triple H Plan B, who knows what's going to happen? But for me, I would like to see, like, slowly moving forward, all of these participants coming in to help her out. I don't know who they are, but I would like to see the official team before Mania. Jay, what say you?
I think to get the louder pop, I think they could have hold it all off till Mania night. And once anybody decides to do something, we're gonna hear one theme song at a time, and we're gonna be like, oh, oh, and an extra oh, like 3 O's in unison, like shit that we don't expect, and we're like, oh shit, one of them is probably being spoken about on this specific night. So we're like, you know what, you know, I'm all for it happening on that night because I'd rather be saved a surprise than now. I want to see, like Des was saying, she got to run the gauntlet. I want to see her run straight through damage control, one by one, with no help, because I know it can be done.
All right, so yeah, my prediction from 2 months ago was that it might be a month and a half ago, but yeah, I think it's gonna happen WrestleMania night. But Jay, do you really think Carmella would get an O from the fans? They didn't give a shit about her when she left. You think they're gonna care about her coming back?
You never know, bro. You never know. Like, she ain't been there in so long, and she's one of the people you least expect. So, like, if you got her, or just say, like I said, also like maybe an Alexa Bliss. We ain't see her in a long time. Somebody, you know, maybe even that chick that was the champ at TNA probably comes out and helps her. There's so many different people that could come out that we could think of, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and think about the local ties that we would say someone like Carmella has because she's from the city. she's a New Yorker, I would say, or a Jersey girl. So, she's close to home. You never know.
Thought she was from Staten Island.
Okay, she's a New Yorker.
But with so many women that's in the roster, especially at NXT, why go outside? You have a lot to choose from right here in our locker room. Let's play these messages quick, fast from Luan.
The only person I really see is Sasha Banks being able to help her, aka Mercedes Monet. That's the only person I really see. As far as I'm concerned, she hasn't chose the brand yet. She hasn't chose AEW or WWE. Maybe they already signed her, and everybody kept their mouth shut, and nobody knows. Only people that would really know would be Triple H, Bailey, and maybe Naomi, because she's very close to those people. Bailey and Naomi, she's close to them. So I don't know. That's the only thing I really see, and only person that could really help Bailey. But just throwing these participants out of nowhere, it would just throw the story off. It would make it look sloppy. It wouldn't make no sense. So she's either going to have Sasha Banks help her, or she's just going to do all this by herself. Which I have no problem with of her doing it by herself, because, like I said, if she wins the title, it would really mean something. She could physically say that she took out 4 people. She took out 4 people by herself.
I agree.
So do I. Like that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. But we still got all of this time, and that plan B. Ooh boy, that Triple H plan B is something, I tell you. But let's go backstage. And the reason why I want to go backstage before we go into match 3 is because I saw something that had a question mark over my head. We're talking about Braun Breaker, the one half of the NXT Tag Team Champion. He was walking in the back. He was walked to the ring, get ready for his match, and the graphics said Smackdown debut. I said, well, wait a minute. Didn't he just have a debut last week? And it was just him by himself, and we was going, okay, obviously he's going to fight a jobber, because if it was someone we knew, if it was a name, obviously they would have been there next to him. And of course, it was a jobber. And it was a jobber's match. He was on there for a couple minutes, and then the match was over. So here comes match number 3 with Mr. Breaker versus Exxon Quinn. He's from NXT. The bell rings. Breaker does a spear, pins 1, 2, 3, and is over. My speech just now was longer than that match. His entrance to the match was longer than that match. The commercial breaks was longer than that goddamn match. I am going on this rant because it was a waste of time. It is a waste of a talent. He is too big of a star to be fighting jobbers for 15, 20 seconds. This is exactly what we was talking about in terms of him coming to SmackDown. Dude, you are a tag team champion. You have all of these tag teams that are coming after you on NXT. So you come to SmackDown to do a spear. Is that what we're doing now to Mr. Braun? We're giving him jobbers? How long is this going to last before he just freaks out the same way that another superstar, when he started, they was giving him a bunch of jobbers, and he said, enough of this. What's that big guy's name? What is his name? They did the same thing with him. They gave him all of these jobbers, and he kept beating them, and he's like, enough of this crap. Give me some real fighters here. Who is it that I'm thinking of? He's the big guy. He used to be with the Flyer, the Flies. I'm.
Are you talking about Braun Strowman?
Thank you, Des. Yes. Remember him when he first went solo? It was the same deal. They gave him all these jobbers. So, Des, I'll start with you and Jay to follow, and anyone can join in on the chat. What was your thought on, would you even call this a match? More so of just an appearance? Des?
Shane is pissed off. But
I am pissed off, because what a waste of time, not only for him, but for us as well. Because you introducing him and you hyping it up before the commercial, we thinking, okay, he's gonna damage this guy more than he did to the guy last week. At least give us some oohs and ahs. He gave us one ooh. One ooh. Ugh. Go ahead, Daz. I'm sorry.
Look, like I told y'all a few weeks ago when they first mentioned that he was going to have his first match, I said, look, the fact that they're not even advertising who he's going against, you should already know what this is going to be about. So, yeah. This is exactly why I said when they were trying to, they were on TV and he was trying to figure out what show to go on, I said for them not to put him on SmackDown because there's not enough time in the show for him to be featured. If anything, he should be on Raw because at least they have more time to give him, actual opponents. So this is what we're getting. I seen it's coming a mile away. And we're going to just have to deal with it until, I guess, after WrestleMania or after his title run in NXT. I guess their mindset is, okay, he's still on NXT every Tuesday, so we don't have to give him too much camera time on Fridays. So we're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry, Shane. That was a hell of a spear, though. That shit was funny as shit. I was cracking up. I think Wade Barrett mainly was making me laugh. He was like, whoa, oh, man, So it is what it is. And this is going to keep being what it is until I think his title reign in NXT is over. Jay, what do you think?
Bro, before I can even write the name of the match, just on my piece of paper, this shit was over. This shit felt like 30, 40 years ago when Mike Tyson was fighting, and he just comes in there, boom, blink of an eye, the fight's over. You're like, what? We just paid all this money to sit here for what? For this bullshit? I could have stood home. So that's what, I understand what you feel by it, Shane's like, yo, you're wasting a good guy money wise for the company, and you're not utilizing him at a right position. So you know they throw him Zion Quinn, medicine man. This guy came into the ring. Look at him with all these tattoos, and you figure he was gonna be one of those hot guys. Nope. You just got another jobber that hasn't fought in like 8 months on NXT. So come on now. Just talking about the match itself, we're talking more about it because it didn't last long. It was the fart match of the night. That's what it was.
You know what, Jay? I have one even better because it was just, ugh, Breaker. You was better off just staying home, dude. But like you said, he got a paycheck, so hey, whatever works, right? Here's Lawan again. Lawan says,
Braun Strowman. I think you're talking about Braun Strowman. He's the
yes,
guy you're talking about. Um,
correct.
Inside note, he's going to be returning soon because he's medically cleared now to return back to the ring from his injury. So a match against him and Braun Breaker would be good too, man. A good first match back would be real good.
That would be good.
But yeah, they're going to keep giving him jobbers until somebody big approaches him. And Braun Breaker got a lot of potential matches, man. I see him going against Kevin Owens. I see him going against Gunther, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Solo. Oh man, he's just good in the ring. He's very intimidating, man. He's a tough matchup. So I can't wait to see what roster he goes and faces during his SmackDown run.
Lawan, answer my call. I'm trying to bring you up to the panel. Answer it, guy.
So Lawan brings up this good question. So then, is it fair to say then, being that he is at a caliber where he can fight all of these big superstars who are currently in storylines heading up to Mania, is it fair to say that they signed him too fast to SmackDown? Maybe they should have done it after Mania? Or unless you're trying to do something with him in time for Mania. I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, I understand. I get it. And ladies and gentlemen, let me formally introduce to everybody our special guest here at the Three Bells podcast table. I usually don't do this, but he's the man. He's one of our, he's one of our homies here at the Three Bells. Everyone, let's say hello at the Three Bells. So our guy Lawan, he is officially our special guest for tonight. Lawan, what's going on, man?
Everybody? Hola, ¿cómo estás? What's up, y'all? Hello, what up? Good to be back.
Yo, tag team partner, you're making history on SmackDown. We usually don't have any special guests on any show besides Raw. So, what up? What up?
Hey, man. Great minds, think great thoughts together, bro. So, hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We see how happy that Mr. Mundo is, being that he has his tag team partner here with us.
Hey,
But
back to Braun Breaker. I think they're gonna throw him if they do something for WrestleMania for him. Do the battle royal like they always do, have him win.
oh yeah, remember one of those? What was it, like a 30-man? Was it the
30
Andre
man
the
Andre Giant Battle Royal. I think
there
Bobby
it is.
Lashley won it last.
There it is.
Give it to Braun Breaker.
When was the last time we had one of those? You guys remember? Does anybody remember the last time we had that 30 guy?
Well, last WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Well, there you go. I can see that happening. In all fairness, I can see that happening.
I might be wrong though. I don't know. I'm just saying because it's usually one WrestleMania, but I don't know.
Probably on the pre-show.
A Mania pre-show. Yeah. I can see that happening this year. I mean, why not? I mean, it's 2 nights, and you have enough guys to do it. You still have time to get all these guys together and bring guys from NXT. I mean, you have a full stack. You can do a lot. I can see that happening.
Shane, by the way, Bobby Lashley won last year's.
Bobby
I
Lashley. Okay.
was correct. That was correct.
Cool. All right, let's move on down. We had a video package of Ola Santos and Rey and LWO and Carlito after celebrating his birthday. And that sexy ass Electra Lopez. And that video package led to the 4th match of the night, which was quote unquote a street fight. Well, like a street festival fight. Carlito versus Santos. Hola, Jay. I'm going to start with you. Como te llama, Mundo? You follow? Me amo Juan. Go after him. What are your thoughts on this match, fellas?
Ay. The way I looked at it was Carlito gave us, as I would say, his maximum minutes per month fight for the night. And he tried and tried. It wasn't the fight I really enjoyed. I didn't enjoy none of it. There was like one ooh, one ah here and there. Like I said, Rey Mysterio saved this match, and now we see Rey Mysterio. With me, I like to give it my moment. But I was gonna be in agreement with Lawan, but I'm gonna go here a little bit differently and say the RKO that Randy Orton gave to Austin Theory. That was my moment of the night, and I'm gonna just keep it short and simple.
Yeah, my apologies, but yeah, my moment of the night was witnessing and hearing The Rock acknowledge Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. That still doesn't stick too well with me. That was very shocking.
My moment was when The Rock was calling everybody meth heads and crackheads. Shout out to all the crackheads. That is so 90s. We have went over our time. I am only supposed to have about 2 hours to some change. Yeah, we hitting 2:42, everybody. But not complaining because we had an awesome show tonight. Again, we'd like to remind everybody that we are on here every Friday night at 10:15. We are on here every Monday night at 11:15 with your host Mundo, aka Mr. AKA, before he hosts our Raw episodes. And then on Tuesday, we celebrate NXT at 10:20 with our host Triple J. And if you want to catch us on YouTube, we have our YouTube page, the Three Bells Podcast. Thank you so much for everybody that joined in and listened and left messages. Thank you so much for Lawan for joining in as our special guest. We really appreciate you and we value all of your opinions and your comments and your questions. You are awesome, man. Looking forward to seeing you and everybody else again on Monday. This is your homie, Shane O'Mac, coming to you from the East New York section of the podcast table, along with Mundo, aka Mr. AKA, and Triple J. We're saying good fight, good night.
Yeet.
And as always, no geeks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.